If I go up to the heavens.
I'm gonna do a little bit of introduction here for some of you who do not know me. My name is Emmanuel, and first of all, make sure that you can hear me okay. And if you cannot, I would appreciate if you can just let me know in the comment boxes if you can't hear me and if you can't see me, and I would appreciate that. So again, my name is Emmanuel Naoji. I am the founder and the owner of Transform to Succeed, and in short, it's T2S. I've been training people in the DevOps and cloud fields, and I've been enjoying it. So today is the first of what I would call episode number 1 to talk about. I'm gonna talk about. So this is the question here. We're gonna talk about CloudOps Chronicles. So it's gonna be just 45 minutes to an hour every Saturday, and what we do, we look at cloud and DevOps. What's new out there? How can you succeed as a cloud and DevOps engineer? And how can you secure a job or multiple contracts with a variety of companies? So basically that's what we'll be doing. But today what I do, it's just an introduction into this series of sessions that we'll be having every week. And in the upcoming sessions, I'm gonna have special guests, like this year or next week, I'll have someone special, and I'll talk about who this special person is, and she'll be joining us next week. It's gonna be quite a treat. So make sure that you share this series with somebody else, because it's on YouTube, it's on LinkedIn, it's also on Facebook, and as we talk together, we reflect on our journey as cloud and DevOps engineers. I would appreciate if you can give me some feedback to see how we can improve on what I do or what I intend of doing, finding a way to support you, support your colleagues. And also, this is very casual, it's very informal. So that's why you see me wearing my hat and t-shirt, because it's Saturday. So just loosen up and enjoy the weekend. All right. Okay, so this is what I call CloudOps Chronicles with Emmanuel. And Emmanuel, that is my first name. All right, I'm gonna move on here, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna talk about a few things here. So we'll talk about a few things here. We're gonna begin first with the kind of essential skills for cloud ops in 2025, meaning what kind of cloud skills and DevOps skills you need for you to be able to succeed this year. We're gonna begin with that. We're gonna begin with that right now. And you know, when you think of essential skills for cloud, so you looking cloud and DevOps, you're looking at a few here, and I'm gonna share some just a few here, and I'll start writing on my board here, and you can take notes and remember, you can come back to the video and watch again. So when we think about the essential skills for clouds and DevOps in 2025, we're looking at both technical and soft skills. So when you talk about technical skills, you're looking at something like cloud, cloud platforms. So you're gonna start first with cloud platforms. So we're gonna start with cloud platforms. And the fact that you're watching this, I believe that you may be already either starting your journey as a cloud professional, or you are already a cloud engineer or cloud solutions architect, and you just want to continue learning. And I appreciate you joining me today on that. The three top cloud platforms that I would encourage you to really work on would be AWS, and the next one would be Microsoft Azure. The third one would be Google. When you go to LinkedIn, you go to Indeed, Monster, Dice, all of those job platforms out there, what you see, there are a lot of jobs in these fields here. AWS is always on top, and now there are now increasing number of opportunities for jobs, or job opportunities for Azure as well as Google. And I'll really encourage you to begin looking into not only just one, but start with one, then go to the second one and the third, and so on. Personally, I have certification in this, AWS and Azure, and now I'm starting to learn Google. So do this, make it a goal for the rest of this year. Every time you learn one, this is my strategy. Every time I learn, let's say, provisioning an EC2 instance using Terraform, for instance, as an example. So I will do that on AWS, and then I will use the same script to find another script for Microsoft Azure, and also for Microsoft Azure and then Google. I will play with that. All right, I'll play with that. So you can learn these things on your own. You start with AWS because you are an expert in AWS, but begin now exploring Microsoft Azure. And so that together with all of these, you can easily become a cloud solutions architect. Instead of just AWS solutions architect, you can do a cloud solutions architect, meaning that you can work with multiple cloud platforms at the same time. So that's a very big plus. So the next tool that I want you to really keep in mind here and write it down. So first of all, cloud platforms. And number two, a lot of companies are looking for ways to automate the provisioning of their infrastructure. And for this, they look for people with these skills, like Terraform skills, Ansible. Okay. if you learn Ansible, you can also learn a little bit of Puppet and Chef. So all these three, they are configuration management tools. Configuration management tools. So you focus, begin with Terraform. Terraform, it's an infrastructure as code tool. So focus on that. So take Terraform and say, I'm gonna focus on one tool that can help you provision automate the provisioning of an infrastructure, of an entire infrastructure. Some time ago, I had a job. They hired me to just use this. But you cannot use Terraform without knowing cloud, okay? Because most companies now are moving to either fully using the resources on the cloud, or they do like a hybrid environment. So that's another set of skills that I want you to begin looking at, and I believe that you're taking notes. And if you have any questions, just let me know here. Give me a moment here. I think I forgot to start my Zoom meeting, and some people might have missed. Okay, they're here now. All right, so that's the first set of skills that I would like you to begin looking at. Also, there's more. There's more in terms of containerization. Containerization, that would be one of the essential skills that you need to learn. And of course, also orchestration. So you're gonna have to work on that. And when we talk about containerization, you're talking about Docker. Also orchestration, you're talking about Kubernetes. So focus on those things. Begin learning. You learn Docker, and I'll show you places where you can go to learn some of these skills, and Kubernetes here. So that's another set of tools that you're gonna need to learn, and the other tools as part of this set of essential skills for CloudOps for 2025 would be, I'm gonna get rid of this, would be pipelines for continuous integration and continuous deployment. So you have continuous. So what I always say to people that I mentor, people that I teach, people that I train, is there will always be a new technology. Like tomorrow, there will be probably 10 or 20 new technologies. But if you want to learn technologies, do not focus on how many technologies do you need to learn, but focus on the concepts, because you may have like 10 technologies, and they all work, they fall under CI/CD. So the point is, do not memorize. I mean, you cannot know all of these tools at the same time, right? No, you can't. But you need to understand just the concept. One tool may behave a little bit differently from the other, but if they all fall under like CI/CD, so they will always have the same kind of like approach. So like, let's talk about like under CI/CD, you're looking at you're looking at something like Jenkins, for instance. Or the other tool would be GitLab. Or GitLab, CI/CD here. You're talking about Argo CD. And what else? What else are you talking about here? Anybody? Okay, so you're talking about okay, sorry about that. It was my Siri on my iPad here. Okay, so Argo CD, and the other one could be GitHub Actions. You see, the other one would be GitHub Actions. So when you look at these things here, they all do the same thing, CI/CD. So you need to understand CI/CD to make sense of all of these here. I'm talking about the strategic way to master the skills, all right? Because at the end of the day, it's not about how many technologies you know, but it's about how many concepts do you know behind any component that we may integrate into our infrastructure. A company will not hire you because of what you have done. It's because of what you know and what kind of experience that you have. And that's based on concepts, hands-on projects. Just keep working on your stuff. Seriously, keep working on your stuff. So when something is, when you get stuck on a project, that's an opportunity for you to grow and learn at least one or two more things. So just keep working on stuff. The other thing that you may need to know about is monitoring. Monitoring is very important. Monitoring and logging. Monitoring plus logging. So you're gonna have to focus on some of those tools, and then here we're talking about something like ELK stack. So ELK stack, that's Elastic Search. You have Elasticsearch, you have Logstash, and you have Kibana in one. And that's why we call it a stack. Then you may probably have heard of Grafana. You also have Prometheus, which you can integrate like on containerized applications. And what else do you have here? And then you have more. You have like Datadog. You have Dynatrace. And these are kind of like what you have, what you see a lot in most companies. Most companies use, they rely on Prometheus, they rely on ELK, Grafana, Datadog, Dynatrace, and the list goes on. So if you know at least 60, to 75% of some of these tools, that's a big plus. That's very good, and there are places where you can go and learn all of this. I'm gonna go to the next point here. These are the essential skills that you need to learn. And to recap, we've talked about cloud. So make sure that you learn about cloud platforms, and this could be AWS, Azure, Google, and so on. The second one is I'm gonna remove my so I'm gonna do this. So the second one would be give me a moment here, see what's going on. Okay, the second one would be, why is it that? Okay, there. So the second one would be the second set of skills that I really, really encourage you to learn this year would be IAC. IAC stands for Infrastructure as Code, and here you're talking about Terraform. You're talking about native cloud native tools like for AWS, that's Cloud Formation, and also Ansible. Ansible, you can use it to automate the provisioning of your infrastructure, but also you can use it to you can use it as a configuration management tool. The same with Puppet and Chef. So the next set of skills would be containerization. So you're gonna have to containerization. You're gonna have an orchestration. So here, this is where you learn about Docker, Kubernetes, and then the other tools that you can use to orchestrate your Kubernetes clusters. You know, something like Helm, and then so on. Next, learn about CI/CD, and finally, learn about monitoring and logging. Very important. When you go, let's say you go to you meet somebody for an interview. When you meet somebody for an interview, if you are able to explain or to walk them through these 4 things here, 5 things, I mean, you can easily get a job. Because this is what the company needs. They need a cloud platform where they can host their application or resources. They need a way to automate the provisioning of the infrastructure on the cloud, or it could be on premises as well. But then here you're talking about IAC tools, infrastructure as code tools. They need a way to provision the applications very fast instead of using a physical machine or a virtual machine. They want to use something that's very portable and light, easily scalable, and that's where Docker comes in. So that's why they use containerization. They containerize the applications, and then they need to find a way to orchestrate that, because you don't have only one application, so you need like Docker images, containerized applications. You need like 5 or 6. How do you replicate that? How do you make sure that you have high availability of all of these applications at the same time? I mean, how do you make sure that you have like 10 of the same application running at the same time? And this is where orchestration comes in, Kubernetes. Okay, so if you can walk the people through these steps, I mean, you can get a job easily. And what you're gonna need to do here is, like, you have CI/CD, and CI/CD, this will allow you to continuously integrate, I mean, every step of your process into this entire infrastructure. So you integrate from code, a code that's a source versioning tool that you can use, and which could be like GitHub or GitLab, okay? And then so you, from there to building your application, and then deploying your application either on the cloud, to the cloud, and then making it accessible to your consumer, your customers, or anybody else. So if you can explain that, and a part of building this entire infrastructure, make sure that you mention monitoring and logging, because this is, you it means that you have to capture every step along the way throughout the process of continuously integrating and continuously deploying. So you automate even your monitoring. You can also add here alerting. So you make sure that your team members, they are notified, not only when there is a problem, but even when, uh, you know, let's say an application has been deployed or something has been deployed or something has been integrated. So you need to know those major steps that they are successfully done. All right. So you log all of those metrics and you centralize those logs. And that's why you have ELK, you have Grafana, you have, all of those tools. And this, if you master this entire thing here, you get a job. You get a job. That's why it's very important. That's the reason why I decided to start this show, so that I can help you make sense of this stuff. So you have the understanding of the big picture, you understand the technologies that you need, and then how you can, how you can integrate those technologies, like plug them into this big picture. All right, any questions from anybody? Those joining on Zoom, on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, you can just post your comments or unmute yourself if you are on Zoom and ask me a question. And then we'll move to the second point. All right, we're gonna move to the next. Point here. So I'm gonna get rid of this. All right. So we've talked about essential skills for cloud ops in 2025. When I say cloud ops, I'm talking about cloud DevOps, cloud and DevOps together. So the cloud operations. And you are such a very special person. And that's why you are in high demand. And that's why they want you. That's why companies are always looking for DevOps and cloud engineers. And I'm so glad that you've been able to connect. All right, so let's talk about now, how do you build a strong cloud ops foundation? Because it's very important. It's going to help you stand out this year. Whether this is the beginning of your journey, or you are like a guru, you are like a dinosaur, but technologies are evolving, they're changing. So the technology landscape, is in 2025 is gonna be different from what we had in 2024. Very different from what we had in 2021 or 2022. I remember in 2020, being a Linux systems administrator was like a big deal. All right. But then in 2022, things started to change. 2023, being a Linux systems administrator, it's like at the bottom of the ladder. I mean, companies still need them, but a lot of companies are now moving to the cloud. So I remember interviewing some Linux candidates for a company in the past. And most of those roles, not most, all of them, even though they were hiring somebody for a Linux position, but they wanted to see if this candidate had some exposure to cloud and some DevOps. And that was the reason why I even, at T2S, Transform to Succeed, I decided to switch from just Linux to Cloud and DevOps. So you have to take this seriously. And I always tell people that look at this as a matter of life and death. I mean, it's not about just getting a job. No. depending on your goals in life. I don't know what you want to achieve in life. I don't know what your passions are. For me, just helping people is why I'm here. And I do it in different ways. I'm a pastor, I coach people, I mentor people, and I am a technology enthusiast. So I do Cloud and DevOps. And at the end of the day, it's not about the money. It's about what do you do with the money that you get as a Cloud and DevOps engineer. It's not just about having like 400K or 200K a year or 100K a year, but it's about what do you do with that? How does that help you fulfill your mission here on in this life or here on earth? So ask yourself those questions and let those questions be the driving force of what you want to do this year. What do you want to do? Okay, you want to buy a house. So then you need money. And what do you want to buy a house again? So that's the question, right? I want to buy a house for my family. I want to have a safe place where I can have my office. I can have space for entertainment for my family, like watching TV or something like that, because you need that as a human being. All right, so let's now talk about how do you build a strong cloud ops foundation this year. So I'm gonna say this. You're gonna need to understand first your the core tools and platforms. You're gonna need to understand what I just told you about cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. You're gonna one thing that I need to add is version control, which is Git. You need to master Git for collaboration and code management. I see infrastructure as tool as a code tools, CI, CD tools, containerization and orchestration tools, and so on. But now the strategy, what do you need to do this year? The first thing that you need to do, you're gonna need to make sure that you have your own lab environment. Your lab environment, this is your kind of like your playground. This is where you build things and then you break them down. This is where you play. It's your playground. And that's how we learn. We learn by, when you look at these like basketball players, LeBron James and all the others. I mean, you see them on TV, like they'll just throw the ball and then it goes into the basket and people clap and so on. And then you think, oh man, I wish I could be like LeBron James or all the others. But what you don't know is they practice a lot. Practice. So I want you to practice. I met with somebody. She wanted to talk to me about job opportunities and stuff like a few days ago, and then I said, I'm working currently, but I haven't used Ansible for quite some time, man. And then I decided to work on a project for myself, and so it took me about 8 hours to complete that project. It's kind of like a complex and a good project. So you build your Ansible cluster. You have the controller node and then the worker nodes. And then what I wanted to do was to automate instead of just manually doing that. Because when you automate, it saves time. And when I tested my automation, it worked perfectly. And it's going to be on YouTube very soon. I'll push out a video on that. and I decided to write a bash shell script to set up the entire Ansible cluster. And then for cleanup, I also set up a bash shell script to take care of that business. But then you ask me, say, wow, because when I record the video, it's gonna take about 15 minutes to 20 minutes to go through the project. But it took me 8 hours to come up with that project. So you see, practice. So you can create your own project. And when you create your own project in your lab environment, and the more, these will show off your skills. Every project you work on, that's professional experience, and which you can attach to your resume. Okay? I was just about to say amen because I'm a preacher, on the side. So yeah, you get the point. But what I'm trying to say here is make sure that you have a lab environment. You can do it on your local machine, which is what I encourage you to do. And using VM, it's okay. But sometimes I say, cloud offers a lot of some of those environments. And also the advantage of doing it on the cloud is that as you do it on the cloud, you learn more, right? Yeah, just do it on the cloud. What I did yesterday was on AWS. But then in the evening, when my project was completed, it was successful. I said, hey, let me try it on Microsoft Azure. I wrote the same script, but using resources on Microsoft Azure. And then I'm gonna test it. And once it works, then I'll go to Google. I've never learned Google. I know Microsoft Azure and I know AWS because I'm certified in both. But in Google, I have no idea. So that's my adventure for this year. I need to master Azure the same way I've mastered AWS. I'm very good at AWS, but Microsoft Azure, yes, I am good, but not as good as in AWS. But I want to do the same with Google. So that's my challenge to you too. Do the same. Do the same. So this is one way you can do that. But the other thing that you may do is to begin working toward certifications. And the reason why I'm saying this is when you have a goal, you're gonna see that you realize that as you work towards that goal, even if you don't reach it, let's say the goal is reaching 10 miles, for instance, because that's your goal. And you want to get to 10 miles, like every week, running. For you to get there, if every day you keep trying with the goal of getting to 10 miles, even if you don't get to 10 miles, you may probably get to 7 miles. You get the point? So aim at something. And even if you don't get to that something, you get close enough to that something. So that's my point. And make sure that you aim big and up high. The sky's the only limit that you have. So certifications are a good way to motivate you to begin building your skills or your skill sets or your toolbox. And you can maybe say you can do cloud here, start with cloud, and here you can do like a CKA, that's Certified Kubernetes Administrator. And I decided to do this last year. In the beginning, I wasn't a great believer in certification, and I still I still believe that certifications are not the guarantee for you to succeed, right? They're just a proof that you've done something, right? But what will guarantee you getting a good job or even succeeding at cloud and DevOps? It's mastering the skills. So first, work on the skills. Even when you work on certifications, focus on the skills, not on the certificate, because the certificate in itself does not show that you have the skills. I mean, it's just a piece of paper, but you have to meet people to show them that you know your stuff. All right, moving on. Any questions so far? Gonna give you some time to anybody. I mean, if you have any questions, put it in the comments. Yeah, you can put it in the comment box, and I would appreciate that. It's always my pleasure, brother, to do what I do. All right. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna stop here because we're getting close to the end of our session. But the last thing that I want to mention to you all is make sure that you network. You have to make sure that you network. And I'm gonna write it down here. Networking is very, very important. So networking. You know, networking is important because what it does, it's I'm over here. It allows you to connect with people that know things that you know. They may have the same experience that you have. And more importantly, they may even know more than you do. And you surround yourself with those people. That's one of the ingredients of becoming successful in any field. Because let's say you want to become like an American football player, but you hang out with people who play baseball or basketball. Come on. I mean, you can still hang out with them, but spend more time with basketball players so that you can learn one or two things from them. And I really encourage you to do the same thing. And where do you find people that think like you, that have a passion similar to what you have? Find them on LinkedIn. Go to LinkedIn. If you don't have an account on LinkedIn, because this is the only, I believe, social platform that is professional. I'll share my screen quickly here. You guys here, let's go here. So go to LinkedIn. And on LinkedIn, this is my second account that I opened like a few months ago, last year. I had another one, but I decided to close it. So you're gonna find me here, and here you can find a lot of people. You open an account first. If you click, let's say I want to find people like DevOps engineers. So you click there and go to people here. Go to people here. So you click on people. Then you're gonna see a lot of people here. And see how you can connect with anybody here. Depending on the kind of tools that you want to learn, but just connecting with these people, it's gonna be very helpful. So do that. And I have people who help others get jobs as DevOps and cloud engineers. I'll make sure that I connect you with those people. Our guest next week, she has she's been also a cloud and DevOps engineer for quite some time, and she is and I'll talk more about her in a moment here. But she's very also she mentors people on how you can get a job. You know, personally, I help people get and acquire skills for a specific job, cloud or DevOps. That's what I do. But she helps you like write resumes and all that kind, that stuff. So she's gonna be here next week on Saturday. Make sure that you don't miss it. Uh, uh, just talk about her in a moment here, and I'm gonna stop my music. Sorry about that. All right, so let me see if I can find her here. Just her picture. That's what we'll be doing next. So our guest here, yeah, her name is Ebanga Ivani. She's been very active on LinkedIn in the cloud and DevOps, and should be here next week. So do not miss this, please, and make sure that you share the invite that I'll be pushing out sometime this weekend for next week. And do not miss this. I want you all to join. She's gonna share a little bit about herself and how she's been helping people. And by the way, she's been also my mentor. So she's an amazing lady. And we'll talk about you get a chance to see her, meet her next week. But for now, let's hold on. Give me a moment here. I don't know what happened. So for now, let's so I'm gonna get back here. Okay, so here we are, and I'm gonna ask if you have any questions. Anybody? Any questions from anybody? Looking at the comments here, if I see any questions on my computer here. Any questions from anybody? You can unmute yourself on Zoom, or just post comments in the comment box. All right. Please go here to make sure that you have a GitHub account. Open a GitHub account. This is where you store your repositories. This is like your portfolio. And you know, I was talking to you about this one. I just created this one here. And this is what I do. So I play with this one, then I'll I'll replicate this, but on Microsoft Azure. And next I will do it on Google. So I have this program here I just put together based on my experience and my experience as a mentor, as well as DevOps and cloud. I have a bundle here. It's Learning Linux on AWS and Beginner to Master DevOps. This is one place where you can go to get to acquire some of these skills. There are a lot of tools here in this DevOps course here. A lot of tools, 20 plus tools. You don't get it from a lot of places. A lot of places they teach you on continuous integration and continuous deployment. They teach you only maybe Jenkins and maybe Argo CD. But in my case, I have Argo CD, Jenkins, GitHub Actions, GitLab, CI/CD. So you go, really strongly encourage you to get here. As my one of my, if you were a previous student, you are a previous student of mine, and of course you will get a discount. You just let me know. Another place where you can go to, it's this one here. Friends, I have a subscription with this company here, Z2M, Zero to Mastery. And these guys, they have a lot of good stuff. And mostly, what I've been taking advantage of is like React, Node.js, Angular for software engineering. So I've been learning. I started learning this kind of stuff, and then here also you can come to Cloud and DevOps. You can find a little bit of DevOps here, but they don't do a lot on DevOps, but they do a lot of scripting. So a lot of scripting here. You want to learn, be a master on database stuff, this is the place. So you can do this, or you can also go to Udemy. And Udemy here has a lot of stuff too, and cheap. Or you can go to LinkedIn Learning. For you to access this, you have to have a paid subscription. And you can see here that I've been learning a few things here. Like this one here, I've been just learning this because I wanted to know a little bit of security on AWS, even though I know enough, but I just wanted to see if I can specialize also in this thing here. But you know, the thing is, when you look at all of these resources here, and the other one is Code Academy. Code Academy is good, very simple, and you can also take advantage of that. All of these places, they require you to subscribe, and it's not that expensive. It's between $14 to $30 a month. So take advantage of that. Use as many. I have a subscription on this one. I have a subscription with this one. I have a subscription with LinkedIn. And the reason why I decided to subscribe to LinkedIn is to gain access to this and also to become more visible because I do a lot of stuff here. So take advantage of that. The difference between mine here and all the others is that you can get access to me easily. When you go to Udemy, you don't get access to those individual like coaches here. Yeah, they're gonna charge you a lot of money to do that. Here you get you join the community. You're gonna join the community here. And people, your friends, they will probably be able to answer some of your questions, but you don't get a direct access to the teacher or mentor. When you come to mine here, you will always have access to me. You will have my phone, you will have my email, and we will connect also on Slack. All right, this is pretty much the end of our session, and I thank you all so much for joining. I see a question here. Just put it here. For certification, do you have any site you recommend? Well, it depends. If you want to, let's say you want to learn AWS. AWS has its own page or a place where you go to get more of that. And then I guess you're talking about professional certifications, right? Because professional certification, it's like you're certified as a solutions architect by AWS or by Google or by Microsoft Azure. Is that what you're asking, or is it just a training? Because every trainer will give you a certificate of completion. So is that what you're asking? Okay, so I'll take you to, okay, we still have 3 minutes here. I'll take you to the website here. So like for, if you wanna go AWS certifications, so you just Google. So you see, like they will train you. This company here will train you to get ready for the certification. But for AWS certifications, you're gonna have to come to the official page here that says AWS certification. And this is where you schedule your exam. And then you're gonna schedule your exam depending on what you need to do. And what I would encourage you all to do is to, if you don't get this here, before you do this, go to your LinkedIn. And when you get to your LinkedIn, you can subscribe, get a paid account. And when you get a paid account, you can get a lot of certifications here from LinkedIn. And once you complete a training, like here you have Terraform. Let's say you take this one here and then you completed. It's gonna show on your profile. It's gonna go to your, it's gonna show on your profile that you have completed a skill. And those skills will display on your profile. When a recruiter is looking for, or maybe you have sent a resume to for a job application to some company, and there is your LinkedIn profile. The recruiter will go to your LinkedIn profile to check you out, and they will look, when they look at your profile, then they're gonna see your skills. So look for some of those quick to learn skills related to DevOps and cloud, and that will be a big plus. And then later on, when you get a job, then you can apply for something like this, because a lot of companies can pay even for taking an exam like this one here. Okay, so let's okay, I see here. Let me go back here. Okay, so that's all right, perfect. All right, anything else? It's otherwise this is top of the hour. It's the end of our session, and I really do appreciate you all joining today. I'll put out something to let you know about our next, our first guest, special guest, and otherwise, have a good weekend. God bless, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you.